All right, all right. You already know what it is. When we got a rough day in the market here for AMC, we got to start off with another spicy meme, and we're going to do that here today. Call me PewDiePie. Do you give advice, horrible advice, and sound convincing? Yeah, you're hired. CNBC. Oh, man. We just got to start off. I got to lighten the mood. Not everything in the stock market is always so serious. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trace Trades. We give technical analysis on different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I'd like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. Today, my friends, we're going to give you an update on ticker symbol AMC. Today was a rough day for the stock, and I don't want you guys to freak out over this, right? I've actually got quite a few things that I want to cover here today. We're going to try and keep this as short as we possibly can, but to be very, if you want the basic rundown, this is not a dead cat, and I'm going to show you a couple different reasons why. We've got quite a bit to talk about, so we're going to look at some recent news articles. We'll look at some different statistics and information regarding short interest. We're going to look at Ortex as well. I want to show you guys the overall market trend and what we saw there as well, and then I've got a couple of questions that were asked of me, so we're just going to dive into the video. We've got quite a bit to talk about. So first thing I want to pull up for you here is Ortex. I want to show you the Ortex information. Now, I don't think this has been updated recently, but the most recent information that we have is that there's 93.25% utilization on the stock. And what does this mean? If you're not familiar with utilization, essentially that's talking about the amount of total shortable shares available to the market. I'll leave this up and you can pause it if you want, but essentially if there's 100 total short shares available, that means that 93.2 of these lendable short shares are currently being held by short positions, right? So that is significant. That means only 6.75% of the current utilizable short shares are available to the market. Days to cover is referring to the overall short interest divided by the 3-month average volume, right? Take this number with a grain of salt, but anything over 1 is significant information. That means that that it is difficult for shorts to cover their positions. This is not necessarily saying that shorts have to cover their position by 0.62 days, right? That is simply stating that, hey, the higher this number, the more difficult it is for shorts to cover. And then this number right here leads me to believe, why Ortex isn't quite up to date, which is super frustrating because I pay $500 a year for this. But anyways, we're gonna go over here to Fintel, and this is updated pretty regularly. And there's two numbers that I want to point out. 6.02% short borrow fee rate. This goes up the more risky a stock's shorting position is. And as that interest rate goes up, you know that it's more in bullish territory because basically brokerage accounts and clearinghouses are going to say, hey, this is looking like it's more of a risky trade. For you to hold your short position here, we're going to increase that interest rate so we get our money out of this, right? So that number going up is significant. It's actually going up quite a bit. 6% is a high number. 55,000 short shares available as of now. This was just recently updated, and that is huge because if you look at the information from yesterday, right, we saw there was 2 million short shares available to trade. So this is cut down significantly, right? That short shares available number is very, very low. Not a dead cat, not a dead freaking cat, guys. I'm telling you, these numbers tell you the entire story, right? The price is psychological. This is a journey to the end. We never said this is going to be easy, right? There's nothing guaranteed about this. It's called Wall Street bets, not Wall Street guarantees, right? But you can see that this battle is still waging on, and that's why the price has been getting cranked down. The overall short volume today was 117 million, which is 27% of the total short volume ratio, meaning that it was 27% of the total market volume of the day of 436 million total shares. Now, that is significant, right? And there's something that I want to leave you with here, and if it's anything, it's hope, right? Of course, nothing about this situation is guaranteed, but I'll tell you what, I feel so convicted in this cause that I just kept purchasing. I loaded up all these dips, guys. I was like, I'm going to eat these up. So my position now in Webull is 1,032 shares at a dollar cost average of $854.9. I'm down on AMC. I'm down on AMC. If we just take a quick peek here, $886 right now, and I'm not even worried. I'm not worried in the slightest bit. There hasn't been a single part of me that has said, dude, I'm so screwed. I'm going to lose all of the $10,000 I put into this because I don't believe that, right? We know we've got some different answers here stating that, hey, we are very close to the bottom here. I don't think we're going to drop below $5.50. I so highly doubt that. I don't think that's going to even happen tomorrow, right? And that's because of a couple of different things. We have SSR in place tomorrow. What is the short sale rule or the SSR? It happens when a stock drops 10% below its previous close, and it is enacted that day and stays in effect the next trading day, right? So we have that in effect. Essentially what this does is it doesn't prevent short selling, right? But it makes it more difficult for shorts to short a stock because they can only short on the upticks, right? So that is going to make it more bullish territory. So you've got the volume that comes in on this, that is going to change the game, right? And I'm still not sweating about this. This is in bullish territory. The 15 MA is trading over the 200 EMA right now, right? We just had a bad day. And that brings me to the next point that I want to talk about is the Nasdaq. So if you look at the entire market, The market took a huge freaking dump today. So I'm going to maximize my screen here, and I'm going to show you the Nasdaq on a daily chart. Check this out when I just zoom out here real quick. So if we just check out the Nasdaq, I don't know why it's doing this. All right, here we go. Check out the Nasdaq. So we're going to zoom out a little bit, and to show you this macroscopically speaking, look at how rough the Nasdaq was today. It was down 3% on the day, if I remember correctly. 3.56%. That is a lot of money for an ETF fund, guys. That is down a lot. We had this crazy ascending level of support, right? It's been on a crazy bullish run for a long time. And the Nasdaq took a dump. It's been down. It broke that ascending level of support. I talked about this in a previous video. Nobody liked that answer, right? They thought that I was fear-mongering, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not the case, right? It's just factual. The market took a big dump today, and AMC got brought into that situation. You can see it across so many stocks. I mean, if I show you this list here real quick, GameStop's moving right now, but AMC, GameStop, no exception. All these stocks are red. Look at all these red stocks right now. After hours down, red. That tells you the entire story. So the fact that AMC got dragged, I mean, even Bitcoin is down 6.6% right now. So this is a market-wide sell-off, right? I think a large part of this came down to, shorts hammering down the stock. We can see that with the fact that there's only 55,000 total short shares available right now. But a large part of it also is that the market just took a dump. It did. That's just straight fact. The market took a big dump, and AMC got dragged into that situation. It looks like GameStop's having a little bit of a run right now, up here a little bit in the after hours. And I'd be curious to see if AMC is going to follow that, but it doesn't look like the volume's anything crazy. So who knows? Nonetheless, AMC got dragged into that situation, and that is why I want to leave you with these parting words. The price is psychological, my friends. You need to stay the course if you want to ride this out. Of course, everybody's in different financial situations. I've said this throughout the entire journey. I really do encourage portfolio diversification. You should not put all your eggs in one basket, right? But if you truly believe in the cause, the end game here is to hold or buy. That is how you get this situation to happen. That's how you get this gamma squeeze to happen, the short squeeze to happen, all that stuff. Which brings me to the last thing I want to talk about before answering some questions is, what is this gamma squeeze, right? What does this mean? How does this happen? I tried talking about this in my previous video, but essentially to double down on this, I want to explain it to you. So these are call options. These are call options right here, and I've got the open interest available. And that essentially is saying, at the $5 strike expiring tomorrow, we have 5,442 call options. 10,900 at 5.5, 17,000 here, 24,000, 37,000, 61, 37,000, 37,000, right? So there's a lot of call options between $5 and $10. What does this mean? Why is this important, right? Because it can cause a gamma squeeze. So essentially, as of right now, right, if we were to open, if we stopped dead at $7.72, that is exactly where we closed on Friday, right? You would see that all of the call options underneath $7 would expire in the money, which means that they expired under or over, I should say, over that strike price, which means that they're in the money, meaning that they're below it met the strike. It is in the money, and those expire not essentially worthless, but you have the opportunity to buy them back. Somebody has to end up buying them back, because if you sell your option to somebody else, right, they still end up holding that option. So they're obligated to purchase that option, right? And one option is worth 100 shares. So eventually, these call options are going to expire in the money. And what happens is that can cause a gamma squeeze. A gamma squeeze is essentially, if you've got, I did the math on this earlier. If we close over to $7, right? Ideally, we close at $8, $9, $10. But if we just close at $7, some quick math, 37,000 plus 24,000, we're just going to round that up to 4, 5, 60,000. We're going to call that 77,000, 87,000, 92,000 option calls, right? So that would be 92 or 9.2 million total shares that would be purchased. So that can cause a gamma squeeze. But obviously, ideally, we get these other strikes in, the $8, the $9, the $10, right? Because that would add up to about 200,000 total call options, which would be 20 million shares purchased on Monday. That would cause a gamma squeeze. That is significant because GameStop started off as a gamma squeeze and turned into the short squeeze that we all know and love to talk about. And the situation for AMC is set up entirely the same, right? So we had this gamma squeeze back here, ran up to $65, ran up to $100, ran up to 227, 351, $514 at its peak, right? So you guys get the picture here. That is what set up this short squeeze on GameStop, and the situation is 100% possible here with AMC. So Things that I want to double down on for this video, my friends, is this is not a dead cat. We had a lot of factors playing into the price action here today. It's possible that the bad earnings call could have influenced the price. I don't think so. I think that's kind of false, false information. I try not to, to let that be, factual, because I just don't think that's legit. Give me 1 second, guys. If you had to hear all my Discord notifications this entire video, I am so sorry. I just realized I had desktop audio on. My sincere apologies. That is 100% my bad. But nonetheless, we had a lot of influences playing into this. So we had the earnings report, could or could not have influenced it. I personally don't think so. We had the Nasdaq, the entire market as a whole, down today, taking a bad beating. We had shorts attacking the stock so much that it dropped below that 10%, activated the SSR, right? So there's a lot of things playing into this price action, but that doesn't mean this is dead. That doesn't mean it's over. This is one day, right? So look at this. I'm going to pull up GameStop here really quick. Before GameStop ran up to $514, you know what it did? It dipped all the way back down to $225 from $372. And if these guys had sold out of their positions, they would not have been able to experience that run up to $514. From $514, it dropped all the way down to $113, and then back all the way up to $439. So you guys get my point here, right? This is going to be a volatile journey. You're gonna have to hold a tight stomach. It's gonna be a journey. There's no other way to say it. And we saw that happen here today. We saw that it was a crazy amount of shorting pressure, crazy amount of selling pressure, right? The Nasdaq was getting beat down. There's a lot of outside factors that played into this, and I just took that opportunity to increase my position and dollar cost average just barely up. Honestly, I wish I waited until the end of the day, but nobody can predict the price action here, right? So that is what we're looking at here for AMC. So I've got a couple of questions that were asked for me, and I want to just address them. So I've got 5 questions. Why didn't we go up even though the volume was so high? I think this is a question that a lot of people are asking. And one thing that I want to say is high volume doesn't necessarily mean green volume. So if we look at the daily chart, right, you can see here we had a lot of volume. That is factual. We saw 439 million in total volume. But according to Fintel, right, if we just take a quick peek here, a lot of that volume was short volume, over a quarter of it, which is 117,000 total shares. I guarantee we also had people sell out of their positions today because the entire market went through a little bit of a correction. So the reasoning that even though we had high volume, the price didn't go up is because high volume just means increased volatility. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have an increase in price. It just means an increase in volatility. It goes both ways, right? So you can have higher price action, but you can also have lower price action. So that is what the answer to that question is for my friend that asked that over at the Discord. Number 2, did you see anything fishy about today's after hours price action? And the answer to that is no, to be completely honest with you. We did not see a lot of volume, so it just kind of stagnated. It continued that slow bleed that we've seen here throughout the day. Right in a 1 minute window, we saw about 39,000 total shares, so not a lot happening here. It's just been dying off throughout the rest of the day. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I would just personally say that you're seeing a lot of people that are, I don't want to say paper hands because that kind of gives a negative connotation, but you're seeing people sell out of this out of a little bit of fear, right? And I understand that. It's a scary situation. This is a scary stock, and I totally get where they're coming from. But no, the answer to that is no. Strongest support price, that is a fantastic question that I do want to double down on. I do not think you're going to see the stock drop below this area of support right around here at $5.37. That to me is the absolute bottom. I do not see it dropping back down to that. In fact, I would be very surprised to see this drop down below this level of support right here at about $7.20. That's my prediction. Of course, there's no way that I can know that for sure. We've got a stronger level of support right here with these tops at 661. So worst case scenario to me, between 537 and 661. But I would be very surprised to see it come back down to 537. I think 661 is the worst case scenario. Most likely course of action being around that 727 area if you'd like to add to your position. 4th question, do you think a market correction will happen tomorrow? And my answer to that is we already saw the market correction happen here today. Nasdaq was down literally 3.5% today. Look at this candle. It broke that ascending level of support and it's going through a crazy correction right now. And it's a little bit overdue. And I talked about this in a previous video. I said you're likely going to see this happen. Take the opportunity to load the boat, buy any of your stocks cheap. Please don't sell, right? We want to load the boat when there's these pullbacks and let it ride when it's ripping. So we already saw the market correction. I think it's possible that we continue to see this correct. Nobody knows for sure, right? But we have begun a little bit of a market correction. And we can see that right here. It's showing on the Nasdaq, right? So the last time that we had a break of this ascending level of support, it lasted for, about 2 weeks, I would say, until it continued on a nice upward trajectory. So we might see something similar to that. I would not think personally that it's going to last more than 2 weeks, but that could influence the overall stock price on AMC, as we did see it influence stock price on a lot of different stocks here today. Where do the hedgies keep coming up with this many short shares? That is a fantastic question that I do want to address. So check this out. we've seen this number change drastically throughout the entire day. I've seen it as high as 200,000, as low as literally 700. It bounces around 1,000. It's been 2 million, right? And these shares aren't coming out of the void. They are being traded back and forth, right? So shorts can buy, they can sell a short position, right? And then buy back 5 minutes later if they want to. And then that short share is available again. So just because we've got, hedge funds and institutional investors that are shorting the stock doesn't necessarily mean that retail investors or even hedge funds aren't just taking small time, short positions in the company so they can turn a quick profit. So my personal opinion is the reason you're seeing this happen is because of that, A, and B, because of naked shorting. Naked shorting is essentially creating counterfeit shares in order to dilute the stock per se and create false selling pressure that causes these sort of ladder down attacks that you see here on AMC. To me, this is a picture-perfect short attack. You're seeing the shorts drive the price down, right? Which is absolutely monumental. Even on low volume, right? Even on low short share availability, they're playing with, they're grasping at straws. And this forces people to sell out of their positions because they think it's only going to go down. It's never going to come back up, which we know isn't true, right? Unless this company was going to go bankrupt, which we know isn't the case. There's no reason to believe that, which I personally believe is the case here, right? I do not see a bankruptcy on the table. In fact, I'd be very, very surprised if AMC Entertainment does not end up doing another direct offering to raise more money to put themselves into an even better position, right? So the fact that this is starting a second opportunity for a squeeze, to me, actually gives me even more confirmation and faith that if this does not happen, if it doesn't play out right, and if I hold this until May or June, if I have to, this is going to work out because they're just going to be improving their situation financially so they can sit on that cash, continue operations to the end of 2021, and who knows, maybe even into 2022 if it came down to it, right? So I am not worried in the least bit about how this stock is sitting, and I do think that is an important point to touch on. Where do these hedge funds keep coming up with the short shares? That is how they are doing it, my friends, and that is what I have here for AMC. If we're going to look at the chart here real quick, we're just going to give you a quick rundown on what I am seeing on the chart setup. Obviously, we had a crazy ladder down sort of day, right? But we are still in bullish territory. So we're looking for a bounce here, and it does look like we finally slowed down. Of course, we have less volume, so less volatility is a factor here. But we finally got a little bit of a price rejection right around here at about $7.50 or so. Volume today was absolutely insane. It was a crazy, crazy volume day. I've been saying forever, if you want to see a squeeze happen, I think you're going to need to see between 450 and 500 million shares. We got to that 450 million number just about today at 439 million total. So we're getting back into the realm of possibilities here. We've got the gamma squeeze on the table. I still stand by the fact that I think if we close over $8, you've got a gamma squeeze. You've got a gamma squeeze over $8. And obviously, every single strike price that we close above that is just going to increase the chances of a crazy, crazy run up here. And we know that GameStop had that short squeeze after the gamma squeeze happened. So that is absolutely awesome, my friends. One last thing that I want to touch on is this. I want to show you Bitcoin. And you're probably thinking, why the heck would I care about Bitcoin? And I'm going to tell you why. So check this out. If we look at this on a 5-year chart, you're going to notice something. It ran up to $19,236, right? And it went through basically a full year of bearish market, all the way back down to $3,900. And you know what? Why I bring this up is there were people that played Bitcoin who held it the entire time, who had true conviction in the fundamental value of Bitcoin, right? So they took the opportunity to load the boat on that dip. Now, I'm not saying AMC is going to do this for a year, right? But they took the opportunity to load the boat on the dip. And look at Bitcoin now. If these people had sold at $3,900 or even at, $7,000 or at $5,000, right? Whatever it may be, they would not have experienced this run up to $57,608, right? You get my point here. The point being, if you have true fundamental value and conviction in the stock, the reason that you purchased it, right? You did your due diligence. You did your research. You know what the numbers are. You've been keeping up with what's happening in the price action. Until that fundamental value changes or the reason for your conviction changes, right? The game is on. The price is psychological 100%. There's a reason I added my position here today. There's a reason that I still cover these videos no matter how much hate I get, because I just do not freaking care, guys. I just don't. I 100% do not care how much hate I get because the fundamental value of this stock is the same, and I will stand by it until the very end. And if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. But there are so many ways that this can play out. If we get a short squeeze, awesome. If we get an AMC Amazon acquisition, awesome. If I have to hold this until May or June and wait for a $15, $20, $25 price target, awesome. I will take a 100% double up if I have to wait 3 months every single day of the week. And I just want to assure you that it is going to be okay. These day-to-day fluctuations, my friends, The price is psychological. You close over $8 on Friday. This is a win. And that is what I have for the video today. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. Lastly, I have an affiliate link in the description box down below for Webull. This is version 4 for the desktop. Great platform that allows you to start trading at 4 a.m. in the pre-market. If you use my link, you get 2 free stocks with a $100 deposit. I'll receive a free stock. Great way to support the channel, my friends. And if you're not interested, that is totally fine. I just appreciate your support by taking the time to watch my videos. So, that was what I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, my friends, and I will see you all next time. Peace.